Dinosaur bite force. How did three key predators solve the same problem differently? In the prehistoric world, survival rarely depended on one quality. Speed, size, intelligence, everything mattered. But the predators had another advantage: bite. It is not just the force of clenching of the jaws, but the way in which this force was applied. The three famous predators are Tyrannosaurus rex, Allosaurus, and Giganotosaurus. They lived at different times and in different ecosystems. They had one thing in common: each was the top of their own food chain. But their path to this status was completely different. Tyrannosaurus rex, strength taken to the limit. T-Rex had the most powerful bite of any land predator that ever lived on Earth. His jaws closed with such force that the bones of the victims not only broke, but split. T-Rex's teeth were short, thick, and round in cross-section. These are not blades, but bone wedges. Traces on the fossils show that T-Rex regularly crushed bones and swallowed the fragments, extracting nutritious marrow. This bite speaks of strategy. T-Rex did not need a long chase. One precise grab, and the prey lost the ability to resist. It was a hunt built on the decisive moment. Allosaurus, speed and wounds. Allosaurus lived during the Jurassic period. Its jaws were lighter, its bite weaker, but its teeth were longer and sharper. This was a different type of predator. Research shows that Allosaurus used its head and neck as weapons. He delivered quick, sharp blows, tearing muscles and blood vessels, and then retreated. This tactic resembled a series of attacks, rather than one lethal move. Allosaurus did not break bones. His prey was bleeding. Its bite was part of a mobile, active hunt, perhaps even with elements of group behavior. Giganotosaurus, hunting for giants. Giganotosaurus, one of the largest predators of the Cretaceous period, was externally superior to T-Rex in length, but its jaws were designed differently. The skull is lighter. The teeth are long and flat, blade-like. This structure is poorly suited for crushing bones, but ideal for deep cuts in soft tissue. It is believed that this predator hunted huge herbivores, such as Tyrannosaurs, inflicting a series of severe wounds on them and gradually wearing them down. It was a strategy of patience, not an instant victory, but a slow weakening of the enemy. 3 bites, 3 solutions. Each of these predators had the ideal bite for their time and environment. T-Rex has maximum strength and destruction. Allosaurus has speed, maneuverability, and multiple wounds. Giganotosaurus took advantage of the depth of cuts and exhaustion of large prey. Evolution did not choose the strongest. She chose the most appropriate one. When we talk about bite force, we are not just talking about newtons of pressure. This is a story about strategy, anatomy, and ecology, about how different animals solved the same problem: to kill and survive in completely different ways. In the world of dinosaurs, strength has never been universal. She always had a form. Dinosaur brain, intelligence, smell, and coordination. We rarely see a dinosaur's brain directly. It is not preserved in stone. But nature left us its shadow, the shape of the cranial cavity, the imprint of nerves and canals. From these traces, paleontologists reconstruct not thoughts, but possibilities. What could a dinosaur sense? How quickly did it react? And how complex was its world? Size is not the main thing. The first thing you notice when reconstructing a dinosaur brain is its relative size. In most species, the brain was small compared to the body. But this does not mean primitiveness. The brain is not a universal intelligence meter. What is more important is which departments are more developed. In dinosaurs, evolution did not strive to make the brain big. Evolution made it useful. Intelligence. Different tasks, different solutions. Carnivorous dinosaurs, especially theropods, exhibit relatively developed forebrain regions. This indicates the ability to learn, judge distance, and make decisions while hunting. Small, agile forms, dromaeosaurids and troodontids, had the largest relative brain volume among dinosaurs. Their nervous systems were designed for complex maneuvers, quick reactions, and probably basic planning. Herbivorous dinosaurs, on the contrary, relied not on individual intelligence, but on sociality, herd behavior, synchronized movements, collective defense. Their intelligence was distributed among many individuals. Smell, a world read by smell. Many dinosaurs had well-developed olfactory bulbs. This is especially true for large predators such as Tyrannosaurus rex. Wide olfactory canals in the skull indicate the ability to detect odors over a considerable distance. This made it possible to find prey, recognize carrion, navigate the territory, and probably distinguish between individuals of their own species. For the dinosaur, the smell was not a background, but a map of the world. Vision and coordination. The arrangement of the eyes in many theropods provided binocular vision. This is critical when attacking or jumping. The coordination of movements was ensured by the cerebellum. In fast and agile forms, it was more developed, which indicates good stabilization of the body, precise work of the limbs, and balance of the tail. The tail, in essence, was an extension of the nervous system, a counterweight and stabilizer controlled with high precision. Brain and body. This is a single system. Dinosaur intelligence cannot be considered separately from the body. Their nervous system was built into their entire anatomy. In some species, there were extensions of the nerve canals along the spine. This is not a second brain, as was previously thought, but control centers for the hind limbs and tail. This allowed for a quick response without delaying the signal from the skull. This distribution of control made movements more reliable and economical. Dinosaurs were neither primitive reptiles nor failed birds. Their brains reflected their lifestyle: hunting, migration, social interactions, and survival in complex ecosystems. They didn't build civilizations, but they understood their world perfectly. A dinosaur brain is not an IQ question. It's a matter of compliance. Every department, every nerve, every sense was tuned to a specific task. This was their form of intelligence. Not abstract, but evolutionarily precise. And that's why dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 160 million years. Dinosaurs and pop culture. Where the movie lies and where it hits. Since the first dinosaur bones became museum exhibits, they have also become heroes of myth. Movies, comics, and video games have made dinosaurs a symbol of power and horror. But at the same time, they have distorted their image. Pop culture rarely strives for accuracy. She strives for emotion. And yet sometimes it gets surprisingly close to the truth. Size and scale, true with exaggeration. Movies often show dinosaurs larger than they actually were. This is especially true for predators. The Tyrannosaurus in the movies is almost a walking skyscraper, capable of destroying buildings with one step. In fact, T-Rex was a huge animal, but not a giant monster. Its size was impressive, just enough for hunting and survival. Pop culture reinforces scale, because scale is the easiest path to fear. Dinosaurs almost always run. They do not get tired, do not make mistakes, and do not lose their balance. Their behavior resembles a pursuit car. In reality, large predators were economical. They could not afford long chases. Injury meant death. Most of the time was spent waiting, observing, and calculating. Early films portrayed dinosaurs as dumb reptiles, driven by instinct. Later, the pendulum swung in the other direction. Some species have become almost intelligent strategists. The scientific picture is more complex. Some dinosaurs actually had good coordination, learning, and social behavior. But this was animal intelligence, not human. For many years, movies showed dinosaurs as smooth-skinned, like giant lizards. This is a legacy of early reconstructions of the 20th century. Today, we know many dinosaurs, especially small and medium-sized theropods, were covered in feathers or down. However, cinema is reluctant to accept this reality. Feathers seem less scary. Cinematic dinosaurs growling, like lions or crocodiles. These sounds have become canon, although we do not know what they actually sounded like. Most likely, many dinosaurs produced low-frequency hums, vibrations, and possibly resonant signals similar to the sounds of birds or alligators. But cinema chooses roar. It's simpler and louder. In films, dinosaurs often live alone, suddenly appearing from the fog and immediately attacking. Real ecosystems were more complex. Many species lived in herds, migrated, cared for their young, and spent most of their lives quietly searching for food. The drama was rare, but it was real. Why does cinema distort? Because cinema is the language of emotions. Science is the language of evidence. Pop culture simplifies, amplifies, and reduces. She takes a complex reality and turns it into an understandable symbol. Sometimes it's too rough. Sometimes it's surprisingly accurate. When does a movie indicate precise moments? When it shows the weight and inertia of the body, the caution of large predators, the sociality of herbivores, the feeling of an ancient alien world. In these moments, fiction approaches the truth. Cinema doesn't have to be a textbook, but it shapes our understanding of the past. And the more pop culture listens to science, the richer its image of dinosaurs becomes. Real dinosaurs were no worse than the ones in the movies. They were more interesting. Dinosaurs were fast, strong, fearless. Their lives were dangerous, but surprisingly long. They grew slowly, especially after adolescence. Skeletons of large pliosaurs show thick, remodeled bones, a sign of age. These monsters could live for decades, surviving generations of prey and competitors. Sea centenarians. Old pliosaurs were distinguished by worn teeth, healed neck fractures, and deep scars, true veterans of the ancient sea. Allosaurus, huge neck, a body stretched for long journeys, fins that can carry the owner across the entire ocean. Allosaurus had amazing endurance. They grew up slowly, but lived long, until 45 years old. Their longevity is a consequence of constant migrations, economical movement, and the lack of the need to engage in frequent battles. They saw more of the ocean than almost any other creature of their time. They were much smarter than we think. Dinosaurs and long-lived marine reptiles are a reminder that not the fastest survives. Those who know how to live long survive. Battles of giants. When did reptiles and sharks share the ocean? Night in the ancient sea is not silence, but anticipation. Beneath the dark water, where sunlight has long since dissolved, a drama unfolds that is hundreds of millions of years old. The deep chalk sea is no place for solo heroes. Here, every life form strives to reach the top of the pyramid. Reptiles, sharks, Chinese cephalopods are all moving towards the same goal, to become the master of the ocean, but there can only be one owner. Mosasaur, king of the last sea. If the ocean could be afraid, it would be afraid of the mosasaurus. Mosasaurs are longer than a bus more flexible than a sea lion, and armed with jaws that could crush a giant tortoise's shell like a nut. They patrolled the shallow waters of North America and Europe. Powerful tail fins work like a turbine, throwing the predator forward. The largest species, like Hoffman's mosasaurs, reach 56 feet. They are not just hunters, they're strategists, attacking from the bottom up where the prey has not seen them. If the mosasaurus is an ambush killer, then the pliosaur is a torpedo. Stocky body, huge flippers, skull almost 3 feet long. The jaws crush fish, turtles, other reptiles, and even their own relatives. Pliosaur funke could reach 43 feet, and its bite was close in strength to a modern hippopotamus, but several times larger. He's not afraid of a fight. His strategy is simple. The pliosaur doesn't kill gracefully. He kills quickly. The most ancient seas belonged to ichthyosaurs, the living torpedoes of the Mesozoic. Shonosaurus, up to 69 feet long, is a true giant, but not a predator. It filters out small prey, much like a modern whale. But the smaller, faster species, Temnodontosaurus and Predatory, high-speed hunters capable of reaching speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. Their advantage is speed and maneuver. But in the era of mosasaurs, they gradually give way to more aggressive species. While the reptiles dominate the surface, another force rises in the depths. Giant Mesozoic sharks, Shark Ginzu. That's 23 feet of predatory muscle. Her teeth are perfect for cutting through flesh, and she is the only serious competitor to young mosasaurs on the Cretaceous seas. Otodus obliquus, the ancestor of the megalodon, is still modest, but already feels like he is on the royal throne. Sharks are inferior in size, but take the lead. They can wait, bide their time, follow wounded prey for hours, and in a world of eternal danger, this is often more important than strength. The mysterious giant cephalopods live the deepest of all. Ancient squids and their relatives, belemnites. If the mosasaurus is a predator of the body, then they are a predator of the dark. Reconstructions suggest cephalopods up to 33 feet long, with tentacles capable of holding a young plesiosaur. And although they do not rule the sea, they rule the depths, where even giants do not dare to descend. Who was the top? The answer depends on the era. Jurassic. This period was dominated by pliosaurs, fast, powerful, equipped with monstrous jaws. Early Cretaceous. Sharks and ichthyosaurs share the ocean, while the reptiles are still weak. Late Cretaceous. Mosasaurs become the absolute masters of the seas. In the depths, cephalopods forever rule, hidden from view and competitors. In Coin, the temporary ocean, none of their descendants reached their previous sizes, but the memory of those times remains in fossilized scars, in teeth found in stone, in traces of a struggle that lasted millions of years. For the first time, the sea became an arena for truly underwater battles. These were the battles of giants, whose names we now pronounce with reverence. Did you like the video? Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss new interesting videos from the Real Unreal channel.